Hey Sheila, I wanted to do a video for you since you weren't going to see your journal for so long. Since you're on your vacation, spend time with your granddaughter. I hope you're having a blast. So I'm going to do a run through here. I'm really hoping it's not going to take me a while, but I haven't ever done a journal flip through, so I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. So let's just get into it and hope it doesn't last too long. I may have to break it up if I do. So here's the front of your journal. She's really super chunky. I've got seam binding clasp on here or ties on here to close it for you. But I tried not to make it too chunky because the other journals that I had tried to make originally, well, I still have them, but they got really, really chunky, and I had to go back and take some stuff out and rework some stuff because I hadn't prepared properly for the spine for the book to be that wide. So I hope you like chunky monkeys because she's definitely a chunky monkey. And I tried to incorporate the Parisian theme with not going with too much of a kitschy Parisian theme, not the Eiffel Tower all over the place and things, the word Paris everywhere. But I tried to make it more of maybe something that somebody in Paris might use, not somebody who was creating a souvenir from there. So on the front here, these are some of my flowers that I handmade, and these are some of the first things that I started making when I was starting to make journals, and it was so fun. I did multi-layers of fabric that I have obtained from some estate sales, and I really originally made the flowers kind of plain in color, and what I've done is slip some sneaky color snippets up in there after the fact according to the color that I was using in this journal. So the little pink snippets you see in here, I put in afterwards. I had watched a YouTube video and was watching a girl make flowers, and she was taking a match or a lighter or something and burning the edges, and it was rolling the flowers up, like it was kind of curling them in like that. And so I was trying that, but that didn't work. And so instead, it kind of put this aged look on these little flowers, and I really liked that. I obviously just kind of did it on the top, but I really hope you like it. I put a lot of time and effort into this and figuring things out, since this is my very first really presentable journal that I feel like I'm happy with. So I really hope that you're going to be happy with it. The trims on here are all from estate sales. I haven't bought anything from a store on here, so what you've got are vintage and repurposed things. Even this came from jewelry that I purchased from an estate sale from a vintage necklace. I just love those. I thought they were really pretty. This is a teeny tiny doily that I found, and I just fell in love with these, and I've put a little vintage button on here. And there's some more of that trim under here. It's kind of hard to see unless you're digging around on here. But that's the first page. And on the spine, I've got some repurposed jewelry on here. Actually, this key is something that I went out and bought from Michael's because I needed some little tiny keys. So that's the only thing. Even this embroidery thread I got from an estate sale. So I'm trying to repurpose, not necessarily go out and buy new. I want the things to be really and truly older, for the things that I do. Here is some lace on the spine. I did two really chunky signatures in here, and I put some little jewelry dangling out of the middle of the signature to tie them together, and just to make it a little bit more fun. The back is the same paper as on the front, but I just left it flat, obviously, for practical purposes, so, because that's what's going to be sitting most of the time. So let's get into here. This fabric right here, a lady gave me who I work with, and I fell in love with it. I only had a teeny tiny bit, but I wanted to put it inside of this journal because it was It's gold and it's kind of shimmery in there, and I just really love how it picks up the light, and I thought it went with the journal well. The paper that I have used in here is from Kaiser Craft and Prima Marketing. Like I said, I didn't go with really catchy Parisian themes, but I did, you know, we've got some French writing here, and you'll see throughout the journal that there may be an Eiffel Tower or two, but nothing major. On the first page after that, I'm a sparkle freak, so this paper really caught my eye in Michael's, and I picked it up, and I thought it went perfectly with the other side of this paper. I love that this paper is double-sided. Got you a couple tags in here. This paper is the same paper that I used on the random acts of kindness that I sent to Deborah, so if you looked at that, this is the same style that I did some of her tags on that I just sent her for a little gift. This is a little seed pack journaling card that I aged and put some tracing paper over and sewed. I have incorporated some sewing into this journal, which I just got a sewing machine and trying to figure out how to work it. Like you can see right here, there's some little wiggly sewing in here, and I've got some other things in here which I'll point out as we go through, but this is off of some jewelry that I've gotten, and I really loved the pale pink of it. It's one of my favorite colors, and I thought it went really well with these pages because the outside of it is not silver or gold. It's kind of bronzy, and I really, it looks aged, and I really liked it. But I've got a lot of places with little snippets of lace. It's all vintage and some vintage buttons on here. This is a journaling card that I actually took some watercolor pencils and colored in these flowers for you and let them, you know, kind of bleed over a little bit, but I thought it turned out really pretty. And here's one of the things that I sewed on here just for some accent. I really like the way it looks like a little vine going here. Every piece of paper in here is vintage other than the scrapbook paper, of course. This is some old parchment paper, an old statement. I have coffee dyed a lot of things, and some things I didn't. The tracing paper, I did not. I left that. I wanted you to be able to see the music through here, and I didn't coffee dye the music. I left it as it was because it was beautifully aged on its own. And then here's the start of some coffee dyed paper, which I did some stamping on. I tried to leave a lot of journaling space. Originally, when I started, I felt like I had to put something on every page, and it just made my journal so chunky. So believe it or not, this is a pared down version of chunkiness. This is actually a dictionary page, and I just kind of love the sound of it. It is actually from my personal dictionary that I've had for a really super long time. This is a journaling card, more room for journal. I've got some lace on there and a little bit of lace trim as a tie with some fun fur. And I bought a die cut machine, and I've been experimenting with it. I haven't done a whole lot on it, but this came from my die cut machine, and I just thought it really fit this Parisian theme really well. And I had a little pops of black in here, so I wanted to incorporate it somewhere. But this button right here is really awesome. It's a vintage button, and it really, this camera is picking up the light really well. It's got some little sparklies in it, but I thought that was really pretty. Again, some parchment paper, some stamping. This trim right here and this trim in this book, all of this trim, I've got some really fun trim down there at the back, came from an estate sale from a lady who they told us was the seamstress for the movie, not the movie, but the series that they did, The Highlander. It's one of those series with time travel. Anyway, she had evidence of it all over her house, and her sewing room was magnificent. I got so much material and trim from her house. I was just really super excited and want to honor her by using it in something that was really beautiful. And so I thought this just fit really well in this journal. There's some more journaling space here. This is a tag that I ran across this whole big bulk thing of tags at an estate sale, and they like had it priced. I had to buy this big tub with everything in it, and these were in there, and I was so happy that I came across them. They're really big shipping tags, but on here is some pink paper, and then I've just put some lace over it, aged the edges, and this is, you know, supposedly the key to the front lock of the journal, which, you know, obviously it doesn't work, but oh yeah, here is some more of that paper. It's just really, really pretty. I love how gentle it is and how pretty and soft the pink is. There's the back side. Just love it. I came across these stamps at a yard sale that somebody had used for their wedding invitations. I guess they made handmade wedding invitations. And it was unbelievable the price they were selling them for, so I snagged them up. Here's some more sewing. A really pretty stitch. I think that might be the back side. Yeah, this is the front side here. And here's some little pearl piece of jewelry that, you know, I took it all apart, and so I've got all these little pearls now with some journaling tags with some paper on the front of some more of that Prima Marketing paper. Just really super pretty. This was a total accident. I meant to make something else, and I ended up making this envelope, which I thought turned out really pretty. It's got a little tiny flower right there with some pink lace trim that I think they used to use in sewing. I forget what you call this stuff. It's a seam something. It's not seam binding, but they used to use it. And some material to make this envelope. And then I made this little tiny book out of this file folder that I made. And I actually sewed it into this little file folder here. So it's just a little tiny spot. You can put little pictures in there or journal or whatever you want to do. There's some more journaling spot. These were some file folders that I found online. So there's your word, Paris. And actually did purchase these. So I guess I have to take that back, that everything in here paper-wise is not vintage. I did purchase these. We got some more tracing paper, the other side of the music. Coffee dab paper, the other side of the dictionary page. And this right here is a little notepad that I made. It was just with some leftover paper, like I had used the bulk of the paper and I had this left. And so I stamped it up and sewed it onto this page. So you can see where I sewed it on over here. So it's attached to this page, and there's just some little snippets in here, even some little burlap, a lace flower, in the middle of the signature, and this is where my little dangle is, that came from. Here's another little notepad. I just made a little tab and put it in this little pocket that I made. I had all these little snippets left from little projects that I was doing, and I didn't want to throw them away. They were so pretty, so I put them all on this page and arranged it on the back of this fabric here. So, and sewed it so they wouldn't come off, and just made this pocket with it, and I thought it turned out really cool. So I'm calling it a Franken page. I've seen people do, a Franken pocket. I've seen people do Franken pages, like Nik the Booksmith does Franken pages, if you've ever seen her. And so I just kind of incorporated that same idea onto this pocket. This trim right here is like totally to die for. It's, I don't know what's inside of there, but it's really light, but they're hard little baubles. And I just thought that was an amazing trim right there, and really fit really well with this book. There's the Eiffel Tower and some little birdies. Dictionary page, music, tracing paper. Here's the other side of that little file folder that I thought was really cute. More journaling pages, a tuck spot, some a little tag that I made from the paper, and then I put a dictionary page on the back. And it's so funny because the first, I guess, word here is fathead and fat-headed. And my neighbors call my dog Fathead, and so that's actually an endearing term to me, and I thought that was really sweet and put that in there on purpose. It talks about being a stupid person or a fool, but it's an endearment for my dog because she's a huge Labrador Retriever, an English Labrador, and she has a big old fat head, so we call her Fathead, sweetly, kindly, lovingly. Here I've done a double pocket with a little doily right here, and then some material, and this is actually some paper with some lace on top of it. And so I've just done a little double pocket there and put this little journaling card. I've done some watercolor down here and some little snippets on top, just blank in the back. This was some old stationery that I came across, and I thought it was really neat. The color was just perfect. And then here's another one of those tags on a smaller scale. I've done some sewing at the bottom, and here's one of the pieces that I used from my die cut machine out of some of the paper that I used in here. And then there's just a vintage button in here kind of holding this ribbon on. Here's more journaling, some pretty pink lace here, more journaling pages. So I left a really good bit of journaling pages available in here because, you know, these are supposed to be journals. They are supposed to be usable, even though we have kind of morphed them into just pretty things that we looked at. I wanted it to be functional as well. This is another of my little die cut pieces with a little teeny tiny flower right there, actually, that I got from Michael's. And I sewed the scrapbook paper onto the die cut, and so, you know, it looks like it was supposed to be on there all along. I made another fabric pocket out of the fabric that's in the front of the book here. I used what was left right here, and I just left the edges fringed because I thought that was really pretty. I've got a little card here with some baubles and some lace, and this is actually a reproduction of an old graphic, I think, you know, from a card or a postcard or something like that. And then I've got another tag in here with some little doolollies on the bottom there. Snippets. Here is some trim that I thought was really plain but really pretty, and I think it, you know, adds a lot of subtlety, but it also adds a lot sometimes, you know, less is more. And so I thought that looked really, really pretty on this page. This is one of my favorite pieces of paper, and I thought this lace was gorgeous, or this trim. And I had this, I don't know how long I've had that thing. Anyway, I thought that was really pretty. It fit on there really well. These tags slide into here. Actually, this is actually a double tuck spot or a double pocket, whatever you want to call it. I put some paper, I stamped it with this dragonfly stamp, and then this is actually transparency paper or transparency film from those old school overhead projectors. I couldn't believe I found some of that. I've seen some people print on that. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm really excited to do that. So I sewed all of that on here, and then I've just got a little journaling card from scrapbook paper, and again, some little snippets on top of that, but that's two little pockets on there. This is a little tag from the scrap paper with some of that really pretty gold trim. I wanted to incorporate some more of that in here, and it's really pretty on the back. This is actually a stationery pocket, a stationery envelope that I ran across, and I think it's like old Hallmark or something like that, but it had this little card in there, and let's see, does it say Hallmark? Yes. And I thought it was so pretty. It had that pink on there, and so I just put some little snippets on there. I found these little butterflies at an estate sale somewhere, and I just thought they were so adorable, so I thought that went really well with the theme, and it was a really interesting little ad on that pocket. So of course we got some more journaling space. Another one of those sparkly pockets, you know, I just can't resist. And then some more of that lace trim that I really like. Some cheesecloth on here. And this is actually an earring. This is the other match to what is up here. I use them both on here. This is some sheer organza ribbon that I put on here that I thought was really pretty. Oops. On the gray, I thought it just pulled that out so much, and then I put some of that ribbon on there. We've got another one of those little notepads that I sewed on here. I just noticed this video is getting really long. It's probably going to take a really long time to send to you, but I want you to see your book and see what you're getting. Here I've just added a little bit of washi on here, and I did like a little flip out for this embossed stationery, and it's just a little flip out on here with some little tidbits, snippets, whatever you want to call it, doolollies. It did a little tag up here, you know, so you can flip the page pretty easily up there with a little pearl hanging on. I went kind of tag crazy on this page, and I've got really cute fun fur on here with some sparklies, and this is actually a triple pocket. Actually, it's a quadruple pocket, so 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. Tag and pocket crazy on here, but I was trying this new technique and I liked it. It worked out really well. Just used some music paper on the back of some scrapbook paper and folded it over and made these pockets. It was really cute. I can't remember who I saw that technique from, but I really liked it, and it turned out really very cute. This is just some of this scrapbook paper that I had left over when I was cutting some things out that I wanted to use, so I made some tags with it. I didn't go ribbon crazy on these because I didn't want this page to be so, you know, froofy that you really couldn't see what was on there. This is a little notebook that I made, and I actually just sewed on this paper bag is all it is, with some scrapbook paper on the front. I just thought that was so sweet and tucked it in there. You can make that a little photo book or whatever you want to make with that. Here you can see the sewing on the other side, which I thought that was a really neat stitch right there. I just loved experimenting with my sewing machine. I got one of those Brother sewing machines. It's a Laura Ashley version. It's got all these, it's like 99 stitches on there. It's really pretty when it comes out. Here's some more black, a little black pop. Some music paper, some little snippets. I love these little sparklies on here. I think I may have used all of this now. Which is sad, but I'm happy it's in here for you. Some little vintage buttons, some, this is actually a curtain, this material right here, but I really like it. It adds a lot of texture. And some of that lace, like the pink lace. And a little bauble off of a necklace. Some more journaling area. This is the middle of the second signature, and I wanted my middles to be really pretty, and so I decided to do this fold out. I know you can't see it on this whole video on the screen, but all I did was I took envelopes and I stamped them up. I added some lace at the bottom. I sewed it here. I put some trims on the top of the envelope, and then I sewed it onto the page. And so that's where you can see that I sewed it to the page right here. And then I just put some little goodies in here. Got another little notepad of just randomness. scrap paper, and then this little card. It's actually a book page, and it's I had put some gesso on it. I was kind of experimenting to see what my inks would do when I stamped on here, and so that's how that turned out. I thought that was really pretty. I love this color combination right here. And this side is the same thing. I did a little bit different trims over here versus right here. I mean, you can't get enough pink and gold in my mind, but I wanted to add some of the black over here, and I thought that ended up to be really pretty. And then, oh, I forgot where the hidden stuff is. This is another little notepad from scraps. This is the other side of that music. Oh, this was really fun. I did some tracing paper with some transparency film over the top of it, and I actually went out into my yard and picked some really pretty weeds. They were just weeds. This is a weed. I don't even know what it is, but look how gorgeous that is. It looks like little itty bitty teeny seeds on there, and I put it in there, and I actually watched it for a really long time, and it hasn't turned brown, so I hope this will stay green for you in there. And I just sewed everything around in there, but that's a bookmark, so you can mark your page in here. And then some more journaling area. This is a paper bag that I just crumpled up and put some paper on here and put these little butterflies. These top butterflies are not attached, and I was trying to figure out, you know, how to make them kind of 3D, but as soon as you close the book, it kind of mushes them down. But just so you know, it's there. Those do pop up. I thought they were really pretty. Music paper. This is one of my favorite laces, and I've pretty much used all of that up. I don't think I'll ever find that again. Dictionary page, journaling spots. Here is my other Franken page. This was one of the pictures that I posted online. I think this lace right here is really cool. It's part of a bigger piece of lace, but it looks like angel wings to me. And then I've got some of that lace that I love. Laciness right there, all lacy lusciousness, goodness, and you know, just some random little snippets. Got you another little tag. I wrapped some metallic thread around here, and I think I'll try this on some more things because I really like the way it turned out. And then I put a little bead on there, which is a pearl, and did some miniature journaling cards with some of this really pretty viney sewing on the side, and that really pretty scrapbook paper on there that I thought was really pretty. That's coffee dab paper. This right here, I mean, this is to die for. I just am in love with this trim. I can't imagine what this was used for, but it's just gorgeous. So I had to put it in this book, and I waited till kind of the end of the book so it wouldn't be flopping all around. But I just love looking at that, and I look at the light just playing on that is so sparkly. There's some more music, a couple more tags, and some more of that sparkly paper. This is your last page, and I did a pocket with some more of the scrapbook paper and a doily, and I just aged that on there to kind of look like an envelope, but it's just a pocket. And then I made this card, and it's just some scrapbook paper from this collection. I just love hydrangeas, and I think that's might be what those are. I'm not sure, but I added one of my flowers on here, and of course it gets a little mushed up, and some of the little die cut behind it. I love how you can just kind of squish these and they pop back up, and they're sewn together, so you know you can mush it as much as you want to. It won't come apart. And then I just put a little sparkly bobble in there, and you can journal on the back of that if you want to, or add a picture, whatever you want to do on that. And there's the last page. And there's the back. And that is your journal. We've gone almost 30 minutes now. Yep, 30 minutes right now. And I hope you get through this. And I really hope you like your book. I'm going to run it up to the post office today. And I'm really excited for you to get it in the mail. I hope you have a safe trip and a safe trip back. Thank you so much. Bye.